All right, so let's get started. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to come, but if they pop in, that'll be good. So this is week 6, and this week you have your community service. You have tutorial number 2 and a binder check. So we'll go over a little bit more about what to expect from this week. Um, as far as getting started here, Seth, will you go ahead and type in there one new thing that's happened to you this week and one good thing that's happened to you in the past week? And I'll read that to the class. And then those of you guys that are watching the recording, if you could post a new and a good thing that happened to you in the past week in Google Hangouts for the rest of your classmates, you'll get credit for the activity part of the live session. We'll pause here. Let me share mine while Seth is typing his in, and then I'll share what he types in for you. So one good thing that's happened to me this past week is my brother-in-law is here. He is visiting for a couple of days from the East Coast, so it's good to see him. Haven't seen him since July, so my kids are super excited about that. Something new that has happened to me this week would be we have snow. We haven't had snow down in Nampa, and it's kind of nice. Makes it actually kind of feel like winter. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Oh, there's Seth. Okay, so this past week, Seth was shocked that his mom got another tattoo. And a new thing is that he might be getting a job. So congratulations. That would be awesome. You'll have to ask him what kind of a job in Google Hangouts. So our lesson this week is on community service. And community service is work that's done by a person or a group of people that benefits others. Some examples of community service might be volunteering to help at an event. I know we had a volunteer opportunity that came across to help at the wildlife refuge. I posted that in the AVID club. Maybe another one would be participating in a paint the town or a rake up the neighborhood, picking up trash, serving at the homeless shelter. All those are examples of community service. And when you do community service, you can receive some psychological benefits, some social benefits, and some cognitive benefits. And you'll learn more about those in this week's lesson. So your assignment that relates to the community service lesson is to find 5 community service opportunities in your area. We've included a link on here that has some ideas that you can use, so you can check that out as you go through the PowerPoint from this week's live session. This week you also have your second tutorial. I know some of you haven't even done your first tutorial, but you do need to do, there will be, like I said, 3 tutorials this quarter, and they are worth a good portion of your grade, so it's important that you get in and do those. So we are using the TRF form. You can use the Be a Teacher. I think that we've found that that's a little bit easier for you. And we may even change the way we do it and give you an option to record and share that you're recording through Google Hangouts. That's just a thought that I had, especially with you seniors, and it's so hard for you guys to get together. But I'd like you to try to get together this week to do your second tutorial. So you'll have to identify a time that works for you and at least 2 of your classmates, and then you can post that in your Hangouts to figure out a time. If you can't do that, you can also go to Miss Salvatore's, I know it's not how her name looks, but that's how you say it. You can go to her tutorial times, either on Wednesday at 4 p.m. or Friday at 10 a.m. And you can complete your tutorial with her. Now, you do need to be able to speak, and you do need to be able to share your screen when you're doing that. If you can't do that, then you need to figure it out. Get on a device where you can do that. I know, Seth, you've had some issues with that, so you need to make sure that you can actually participate in it. And then after the tutorial is done, then you're going to fill out the reflection and submit your completed TRF form. So do you have any questions on that, Seth? All right, okay, thanks, Seth. We'll go ahead and go on. The next thing in your this week is your binder check. You have your second binder check. So a couple things that you're going to want to do is make sure that you update your pacing charts. And you can do that just by going through and highlighting. You don't have to put the specific day or time, that you complete a lesson, but just look at each of your classes this week and see where you're at. If you're on lesson 20, highlight everything above lesson 20 on your pacing chart so that you have that updated and I can give you points for that. You want to make sure that all your coursework is in its appropriate folder for that class, and make sure that your folder has a filled out cover sheet in there in your binder, and that way you'll get your credit for your binder check this week. So I did have a team bonding activity, and we were going to do the pre-work inquiry for tutorial 2 if anybody had that ready, but Seth, since you can't talk, we'll skip over that and go on to I had a mascot match. And so I would like you, anybody who's watching this, and Seth, you can do this as well, I'll try and send out this slide to you, and I want to see how many of these you can figure out. Which mascot goes with which university, and try and do it without Googling it, just to kind of see where you're at. A lot of times we know Boise State is the Broncos, right? That's probably the easiest one. So matching the Boise State University with the Broncos pretty easy. And some of the other ones of the major schools might be pretty easy to pick out. But as far as who this guy is and what college that he goes with, that might be a little bit harder. So in looking those up, or in trying to figure those out, all of these schools are located in the state of Idaho. So I'm going to skip over a couple of them. So your learning team assignment this this week is your tutorial. And so you want to make sure that you get that done. I also thought it would be fun, since we've got so many issues all over with weather. I know that the mountain areas are getting socked with weather. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to have everybody take a picture out one of your windows. What do you see when you look out the windows? This morning I see snow, but yesterday morning I didn't have snow. So post what it looks like out your windows so that we can all share and see where everybody's at. I did put some resources in here for you this week, some stuff on the counselor's corner for you seniors. There's information on financial aid, scholarships, and then the volunteering opportunities. There's also a link here on resources for the rubric for your binder, so you can see exactly what it is that we are checking for when we go through and do your binder check. So I think that concludes this live session. Short and sweet. That's what happens when we only have one person show up. Just like last week, it was pretty short. But Students watching the recording, make sure that you share one new or good thing for last week in Google Hangouts. And we did not complete the tutorial, and we did not do the mascot match, but those of you guys, I'm going to send out the information from the mascot match, and if you can send it back to me with as many matches as you possibly can figure out. So we will end there. You guys have a great day.